Stone her. The shout cracked through the heat, sharp as a whip. Mara Tilling knelt in the dust, her wrists bound, her mouth bleeding where her lip had split from the last blow. The ground was hot beneath her knees, baking, blistering, but she didn't move. She didn't beg. The world around her spun slow and mean, full of faces that once called her neighbor. A woman sobbed in the crowd, but no one stepped forward. "By the law of kin," shouted Elias Tilling, thick-necked and red-faced, "she's guilty of hexing my brother." The cattle died, his eyes turned yellow, and he spat blood for the last moon. This woman put evil in his house. She poisoned his supper and hexed his sleep. Someone muttered, "Might have been the whiskey." Another, "Hush him quick." The sheriff leaned against the post outside the saloon, toothpick in his mouth, not even watching. A dog yawned in the shade beside him. The preacher stood silent, hands folded. A buzzard circled overhead. Elias lifted the first stone, smooth and gray like river bone. His fingers curled around it with reverence. "Judgment comes down like thunder," he declared. Dust whipped across the open lot, tangling in Mara's hair. Her blue dress, torn at the collar, fluttered like a flag of surrender. She lifted her chin slowly, one eye swollen shut, the other fixed on Elias with a gaze that held no fear. Only fire. "You call this justice?" she rasped. "This ain't law. It's cowardice dressed in grief." A murmur rippled through the crowd. The younger Tilling boy, barely 20, with eyes like wet mud, hesitated. The stone in his hand wavered. "Shut her mouth," Elias barked. The stone rose. A scream pierced the air, but it wasn't Mara's. It came from above, a sound like a hawk shrieking through a canyon. Heads turned. Elias froze, arm cocked. The whole town turned to look at the ridgeline just beyond the dry riverbed. There they stood, 5 riders, motionless, dark as burned wood against the orange sky. Horses pawed the ground, snorting dust, their faces painted, feathers and bone glinting in the dying light. No one moved. Even the wind seemed to halt. "Comanche," someone whispered, and the words spread like prairie fire. Elias stepped back, spooked. "Why are they here?" The sheriff straightened up at last, hand on his holster. "Don't know," he muttered, but didn't move forward. The 5 began their descent, silent but swift, down the steep rock, horses weaving like shadows over shale and scrub. The leader rode first, tall, wrapped in buckskin, face streaked in red and black. Around his neck hung a carved feather, bone white. A woman gasped. "They're headed for the square." Elias cursed and stepped